A few notable news and injury items to discuss with the Ottawa Senators, and that's coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. On this channel, we review and analyze all 31 NHL teams with an unbiased opinion. So if you're a big hockey fan, hit that subscribe button now so you don't miss anything. Alright, let's jump into some news items here regarding the Ottawa Senators. As we head into the Christmas break, they've been bit by the injury bug yet again. Obviously, they've got a few notable players in their forward group going to be missing, as well as some other guys. So let's jump into it here. So first of all, Bobby Ryan has yet another finger injury. This guy seems to have magnets and there's something in his hands that makes the puck just want to hit it all the time. Although this time it wasn't a puck, it was actually a stick. He took a slash in the game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, although this time the finger is not broken, but it is injured, and he could use some healing time, some rest time to make sure that he doesn't end up re-aggravating it. So where they have 3 days off coming up here after for the Christmas break, it only makes sense to give him the game tonight against the Florida Panthers off. So hopefully they're optimistic that he'll be able to play in the first game back after the break, which I believe is against the Bruins on the 27th. So obviously he's not expected to be out long term, but will miss at least one game with yet another finger injury. He's going to have some wicked arthritis in those hands when he retires if this keeps up. The amount of hand and finger injuries this guy has had is absolutely crazy. Zack Smith is also injured for a second time this year with a shoulder injury, and they're calling it week to week. So he's going to be out minimum a week. Obviously, he'll miss tonight's game against the Panthers. After that, they've got the 3-day break, as I just mentioned. So he'll likely miss at least the one game against Boston. After that, we're looking at 5-6 days before they have another game. So he'll be reevaluated at that point. But he could be out a little bit longer term. He could be out an additional week or more after that. So they've got a lot of guys that have been injured this year, and actually this is the second time around for Smith and Ryan both. Now they're not sure if Craig Anderson's going to be able to play tonight or even back up as he's come down. I believe it's just an illness, like a flu bug. Doesn't seem to be anything serious, but you never know how long those things are going to drag on. So they have called up goalie Danny Taylor from the AHL Belleville Senators to be on standby just in case he's needed. So my guess is more than likely Mike Condon's going to start tonight. And if Anderson can't back up, then Taylor will be in that role. Now, another news item here regarding the Senators that I found interesting. I kind of debated doing a video on its own, but I wasn't really sure. But as the injuries and other items here kind of added up, I was like, well, we'll do one video, kind of discuss everything at one time. So, as we all know, Eugene Melnyk, the owner, has been out in the news a fair bit lately. We've discussed that on this channel through a couple of videos, through his remarks at the alumni game and talking about ticket sales being down, relocation, all that stuff. He's been brought up a lot as far as the Kyle Turris for Matt Duchene deal, where obviously it was heavily rumored that Turris felt the owner was a big reason why he wasn't getting the contract extension that he was looking for. And it's not just a rumor anymore. Kyle Turris, in case you have missed it, has made those comments publicly that he feels that management did want to give what he wanted, which was around 6-7 years, around $6 million. But Eugene Melnyk wanted nothing to do with it. So it appears as though Melnyk does get involved more in hockey operations than him or Pierre Dorion lets on. I don't think anybody who follows this team closely doubts that at all. He is certainly involved in daily operations a lot more than him or Dorion will ever let on. But the thing that I heard today, that I read through another article from Liam McGuire, I found very interesting, and I believe this to be a credible source, so we'll see. But he was told that Kyle Turris, and this has come third hand, so Kyle Turris apparently was having one of his last conversations with Bryan Murray, as Bryan Murray was near the end of his life. As we all know, Bryan Murray passed away this summer after a long, courageous battle with colon cancer. So during one of Turris' final conversations, or may have been the final one, I'm not sure, with Murray, he told him that he didn't feel at that point that he was going to get the contract extension, that he wouldn't be in Ottawa much longer because Melnyk didn't want to sign him and he would end up having to leave. Now, apparently Turris has also mentioned this to another former player. Now, that name wasn't revealed, so I don't know who it was. All it said was it was a former NHL player that's connected to that team in some capacity. So obviously he knows Kyle, and Kyle confided in him that he felt this way. So between what he apparently told Bryan Murray and what he's told this other former player, that Eugene Melnyk absolutely did not want to give in to his contract demands, and that's, there was obviously problems before the season ever started. So, obviously I think there's a lot of truth into what we say and what we've been told regarding how much Melnyk influences Dorian's decisions with contracts. Now, obviously there are times everybody will admit that the NHL owners have to be involved and approve certain things, but I think because of his own limitations budget-wise and whatnot, I think he is involved more than most owners. As we discussed in other videos, I don't think there's any danger at all in the Senators moving. I know the NHL will do everything they can to keep that team in Ottawa. I know they're fond of the market, and they all agree that Ottawa would be doing much, much better if they were able to get that downtown arena. As far as Gary Bettman has said, there's no reason to believe this arena deal won't come together. And there's also been some speculation that really at some point Melnyk may be forced out of here. He's gone on record many times now saying, I absolutely will not sell the team. So just because he won't sell it doesn't mean it couldn't come to the point that he has to. I mean, that's just reality. It very well could happen. I don't want to get into that too much. We've discussed Melnyk way more than he deserves on this channel and other videos. I just thought it was a rather interesting note from Liam McGuire saying that he had sources indicating that Turris said this to Bryan Murray. So I think we all know Bryan Murray was a very well-respected man, not only in the Senators organization, but in the whole NHL world. And I think, it's even more clear now than it was already, because it was pretty clear how important he was. But I think he was the kind of manager with his level of experience and the respect that Melnyk actually showed to him, that he could keep Eugene Melnyk in line. That's why a lot of the things were run a lot smoother when he was around. So I think, we've already, I've heard many people say, and I know I've felt this by myself, that Bryan Murray is going to be greatly missed by this organization. And it's just yet another point to prove just how important he was to the Ottawa Senators.